What's up, Pokemon players? Pokemonger back with some more online gameplay, and today I got another really fun, super cheeky, fairly strong rogue deck for you. So it's my Noivern GX Decidueye GX deck. Never really seen Decidueye paired with Noivern, but I thought it would be a good idea one night, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, so I decided to do a video. So let's talk about it. First of all, Noivern GX. Let's state the obvious right away. It is weak to Fairy, which is very bad since most people would consider Gardevoir GX the best deck in the format. But that being said, I would say Gardevoir GX currently is the least prevalent it's been so far this season. A lot of fighting decks on the rise, a lot of decks utilizing Zoroark are on the rise. So now's as good a time as ever to try to use Noivern GX. So, for what that's worth, but it is stage 1, easy to get into play, 200 hit points, pretty nice. And then it has the Distort attack for 2 energy, a darkness, and a colorless, hit for 50, and then you item lock your opponent. So, we all know item lock is one of the strongest effects in the game. That's really good. And then we have Sonic Volume for a Psychic, a Dark, and a colorless. We hit for 120, and then lock our opponent out of attaching special energy cards. So if we know we're going up against a deck that only uses special energy, we can just get Sonic Volume going right away and then win that way. And then we have Boomburst GX, which pretty good game finisher or bench sweeper. It just does 50 damage to all of our opponent's Pokemon. So 9 times out of 10 we're just going to maintain the item lock and use Distort. But we can sort of modulate the damage of all these things. We can increase the damage of all these attacks with Decidueye Feather Arrow, first of all, ability. That's going to allow us to do 20 more damage with each Feather Arrow we have in play each turn. And then 3 Choice Bands allow us to do 30 more to EXs and GXs. So yeah, that's basically the strategy. Just item lock our opponent, make it hard for them to play against us while we're doing a ton of damage with our Distort, Feather Arrows, and Choice Bands. So 4-4 line of Noivern with 2 Timer Balls, 2 Evo Sodas. Seems like overkill, but it is actually very imperative that we get Distort going on turn 2. Pretty much crucial to the deck's success that we get that item lock going by turn 2. Then we do have a 3-2-3 Decidueye line with 4 rare candies. That's going to help us get our Decidueyes into play. Timer Ball and Evo Soda can be used on the Decidueye line as well. It's worth noting that Noibat has the agility attack, flip a coin if heads, prevent all attacks done to Noibat during your opponent's next turn. So that can buy us a turn if we go second to get Noivern into play and get our item lock going before getting knocked out. Okay, so that's basically the whole strategy of the deck. We'll talk about the rest of it here now. Oranguru, one of those for the late game in, and just help us set up throughout. 3 Tapu Lele, get the supporters we need. 2 Evo Sodas, get our evolutions into play. 4 rare candies, evolve straight into Decidueye. 1 Rescue Stretcher, get back our Pokemon. 2 Timer Balls, help us get our evolutions into our hand. 4 Ultra Ball, get whatever Pokemon we need into our hand. 1 Bridget, you might want to up that to 2 for consistency. I'm sort of willing to just risk it at 1. But that's going to help us get our basics into play on turn 1. 3 Guzma, choose who we are killing or just sort of stall out our opponent while we item lock them and snipe them with Feather Arrow. 4 and 4 Sycamore for draw support, that's pretty standard. 3 Choice Bands for the increased damage. 2 Float Stones to free or treat things like Oranguru and Decidueye. Noivern has a free retreat, which is super nice. And then we have 7 Darkness and 3 Psychic. Heavily favored towards the Darkness count because we just need, Darkness is, we're going to use Distort 9 times out of 10, so we just have to make sure we have the Darkness for that. And then we do have the 3 Psychics because if we find ourselves in a situation where Sonic Volume can win us a game, we can just attach a Psychic 2 or attach a Psychic for Boomburst and then finish off a game with Boomburst. So that's the deck. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you right away. Otherwise, enjoy the matches. Alright, so let's start a match here. Alright, looks like I am going first, so I put Oranguru in the active, bench a Rowlet, and I do have Lele in hand, which will allow me to grab Bridget, which is in the deck, so very good. I'll probably grab 2 Noibats and a Rowlet. Attach Energy and attach Float for the free retreat now, while I still have the option before a potential in. And it's unlikely that I'll get knocked out here, so I do feel safe putting Noibat in the active. My opponent also had Lele in hand, so he's going to bench that, go for Bridget as well. And with Bridget, he is going to grab another Zorua, a Wimpod, and a Coco promo. So he's playing Zoroark Golisopod, definitely one of the best decks in the format. I go ahead and attach another energy to the active and use my Evo Soda to go into Noivern GX. And a Sycamore in my hand, draw 7 new cards. I do have the Rare Candy Decidueye in hand. I played Timer Ball, flip 1 head, so I grab a second Decidueye. I'm going to evolve into Dartrix, and then next turn I'll have the second Decidueye evolved, as long as I don't get in here. So I Feather Arrow the active, and that will put Distort at enough damage to take the knockout, and my opponent is now item locked. So he's going to have a hard time fighting through this item lock and keeping up while fighting through item lock to kill my Noiverns and Decidueyes here. He attaches energy to his bench Zorua, passes turn, and I have the Guzma in hand to pull that back up. I can Feather Arrow that and then knock it out again with Distort, and my opponent will still be item locked in. He goes ahead and concedes. He pretty much realizes it's going to be next to impossible to get back into that one, so that was a pretty good example of how Noivern can just dominate even top tier decks as long as it sets up correctly, which it should most of the time. So let's go ahead and get into another one. Alright, so start Lele this time, and I have Lele and Bridget in hand already, so very good. We will, we got 2 mulligan draws too, which is good. Hopefully I get to go first here. I recorded this like a week ago, so I don't really remember. This is basically the first time I'm watching it too. And I do get to go first. Perfect. So I'm sure this one will be pretty quick. I do grab a Noibat and 2 Rowlets here. Attach energy to the Noibat. And let's see. Okay, I'm gonna pass the turn there. I do have Evo Soda in hand. I also have pretty much any supporter option I want. My opponent is likely playing, Zoroark Golisopod. Definitely one of the best decks in the format as well. I'm going to Guzma my Noibat into the active, Evo Soda into a Noivern, and attach the other energy. And discard a couple cards, it looks like, to grab a Dartrix, get that ready to evolve into Decidueye for next turn. So I will Distort, item lock my opponent, and I just get a victory. So a couple of quick matches here, and pretty much it's hard to get a real good, close, long game recorded, because once you item lock your opponent like that, people just tend to concede right away. So if you want to see more with this, leave a comment and let me know. I can definitely try to record some longer, closer ones. But yeah, that's basically it for this one. So like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. I will catch you guys next time.